Hello and welcome to Magathea Builder Worlds. This is going to be a battle report. Yeah, hello. Who'd have thought? You don't come to Magathea Builder Worlds to watch battle reports. You come to Magathea Builder Worlds to watch things get built. Building worlds. There's clues in the name, isn't it? But the point of building all of these worlds is playing games. And recently, I thought it might be quite cool if we actually finally got around to playing some games. Thanks to all this COVID nonsense and various other bits and pieces, haven't done much game playing. So, not only did we think we fancied playing some games, we also thought we might kind of like record them in a kind of like YouTube-friendly kind of manner. Magathea Builder World's update. Yep, he's not very bright, but Chewy does love a bucket. 12.5 kilos now. It's about 26 pounds.
Sit. Down. Chewy. Up. Pull. Up. Sit up. Pull. Good boy. High five. High five. Sit. High. Good boy. Nice bump.
There you go, not bad for 11 weeks old. Bless him.
Down. Chewy.
Now, this is not going to be your bog standard battle report where the entire game just gets videoed and you see everything. Nah, I'm not interested in that. There are loads of people who do that already, so there's no point us trying to do that. It's not also going to be a tutorial. I'm not going to go into great depths over how the rules work. There will be the odd bit where we drop in the odd conversation about rules or show how the dice rolls went or that kind of thing. But I don't want to get hung up on that. To me, the whole point of playing games is the story you generate between you and your opponent. It's a narrative. And what we're going to try and do with this battle report is kind of celebrate the narrative of a game that we played the other night. It was very, very amusing, actually. And we had great fun doing it. So none of this is live, really. I don't think any of this is live. I don't think we've got any live footage. What we've done is we've made notes and we kind of shot it all. And I'm going to go back and I've gone back and shot bits and pieces on the board and that kind of thing, and hopefully put together an amusing narrative so you can follow the story of the game, see some of the key moments of the game, and get a feel for it and what we love about it. This game that we're going to be playing, of course, is Burrows Badgers. Now, you may be familiar with Burrows Badgers. You may be a follower of this channel because you play Burrows Badgers and have seen my Burrows Badgers content already. If you've not seen any of my Burrows Badgers content, that might be because you're brand new to Magathea Builder Worlds. If that's the case, what are you doing here? Go and subscribe and then go and check out all the other B&B stuff. If you are not new to Magathea Builder Worlds and you know all about this thing, that's fine. But, if you will, just for a moment, indulge me. Burrows Badgers, a skirmish game of anthropomorphic animals by Michael Lovejoy. This, as many people know, is probably my favourite game and has been for 2 or 3 years now. I love just the whole concept. It's a great fun skirmish game. It helps develop terrific stories. The Michael Lovejoy and Oswald Miniatures figure range for B&B is absolutely charming, although it is also a miniatures agnostic game, so you don't just have to use B&B figures, and there are other people who kind of source figures from other places to use as well. In some cases I've done that just to fill in the gaps because although the B&B range is getting bigger and better all the time, it still doesn't do everything I want it to do. B&B then is set in a place called Albion. Most of the main game is set in the north of Albion, in Northumbria. But I'm a southerner. I live in Essex. Our games are based in Saxnar and around the great mercantile city of Luneden, which is where this game takes place. Now, there's another really good reason why we're playing this game right now, and that is because I'm taking the opportunity to play on a piece of scenery that has actually got to go to its owner very soon. Some of you might recall the Redwall Abbey build. This. What do you mean you've never seen the Redwall Abbey build? Blimey, there were 4 or 5 videos. Go and find the Redwall playlist. I don't know. But the Redwall Abbey was made for Black Dragon Miniatures in Hinckley in Leicestershire, for B&B essentially, and for other games too. And it was completed some time ago, and for reasons it hasn't actually made it to the client yet, but that's going to change very soon. So I was absolutely gagging to get a game played on this piece of terrain before it left Magrathea Burrows headquarters and moved to somewhere else in the country where I'd have to go somewhere else to go and play a game in it. So we kind of squeezed the game in at Redwall Abbey, or in actual fact in this scenario it's called Grey Roof Abbey, obviously for reasons, you know. So without any further ado, I suggest that you get yourself a cup of tea, get some snacks, sit back and watch this battle report of me and my mate Ted playing Burrows Badgers, and we'll see how we go from there. Okay, so a bit about this game first of all then. It's being played between 2 fairly well established warbands. A lot of the time when you see warbands and games of B&B on YouTube and the like, they are with new warbands. Well, these warbands have been around for some time, one form or another. There is a Royalist warband, the retinue of Sir Hartley Longshanks, and then there is a Wild Beast warband, the Rat Pack, led by Bran, the giant brown rat. And the scenario that we're playing is based on the scenario in the main rulebook, Defend the Hall. Although in this case here, the Hall is this little fella, Joe Starling, some underworld snitch who the Wild Beasts want dead and the Royalists want alive. It all takes place in the Abbey, and it all went a bit like this. The objective then, Joe Starling, underworld snitch, hiding out in the Abbey, having claimed sanctuary. The retinue must get to him and secure him before the Rat Pack get to him and silence him. The retinue of Sir Hartley Longshanks of the Order of the Crown, a veteran warband, experienced warriors, loyal, honest, dispatched to the Abbey by the Grand Master of the Order to secure the witness. Led by Sir Hartley himself, a hare warrior, well armoured, experienced and dangerous to fight. His second, Sir Bors, carrier of a relic of the Order, again an experienced warrior. Then there is Nicodemus, an otter mage, often responsible for keeping the warband in the battle. Frisbee, a squire of the Order, equipped with armour and crossbow and his sword and buckler. And then Raxo, another mouse, a soldier of the Order, and his friend Gung Ho, a rabbit warrior armed with a deadly double-handed hammer. Then the warband's rounded out with Sniffy, a medium hound scout, and Smithy, a mole blacksmith. And then facing them, the rat pack of the Red Scar. A wild beast warband of rats hired by Baron Bufo to capture the sneaky little snitch and bring him back for interrogation. The rat pack are led by a giant brown rat called Bran, and his second, black rat, she-rat, dangerous with her sword and venomous tongue. They also have along for the ride Bruiser, another giant brown rat who carries a sacred relic for the warband. The rest of the warband are all black rats. There's Deadeye with his mastercrafted caliver. Band-Aid with her magical abilities and sharp sickle. Akka with his heavy armour and great chopper. There's Squirrel Eater, renowned for eating squirrels, skinning them and wearing their fur. Blades, a veteran warrior who used to fight with multiple blades but now carries an arm wound which makes things difficult. Chucker, well known for throwing stars and knives. And Red, a rat warrior eager to prove herself.
Oh, Sir Hartley. You're well, I trust. Yes, thank you, Master. Well, I have a simple mission for you this time. You must travel across the city to Grey Roof Abbey. There is a young fellow, a starling, who was witness to a terrible deed. Claimed sanctuary in the abbey. You must take your retinue, go and fetch him back. Or make him secure, keep him safe from any of Baron Bufo's ruffians. The merchants' guilds and those underworld scum will all want to get their hands on this fellow, and we can't have that. Alright, Baron. Why have you got us to come out here and meet us then? Well, it's very simple, Bran. I want that starling. He's in the Abbey, so I've heard. And I need you and your boys and girls to go and get him and bring him back. Eventually, I want him dead. But not until I get to know what he knows. Don't let me down, Bran. If he gets away, and the Order of the Crown get their hands on him. Or worse, the merchants' guilds. Who knows what damage it can do. Right. I don't think that'll be a problem, Baron. Me and the Rat Pack will get it all sorted. Don't you worry. Right, listen carefully everyone. We have to go to the Abbey, secure the witness, make sure he stays completely safe, bringing him back here to the Master alive. I think everybody's going to have to come this time. Who knows what Baron Bufo is going to throw at us? Probably the Rat Pack. This could get messy. The retinue arrived first. Sir Hartley took up position out the front of the Abbey with Bors and Sniffy and gave gung-ho orders to stick to the witness like glue. He sent Raxo and Frisbee onto the roof of the Abbey to keep a watch with crossbows. Inside, Nicodemus and Smithy took up position. The plan was to fight off an enemy, but if everything got too messy, they would head to the tomb, which they knew had stairs underneath it leading to the crypt. They would make their escape. The retinue arrived with only minutes to spare. Sir Hartley had only dispatched Raxo and Frisbee to the roof when they could hear out in the street the arrival of the Rat Pack. Bran went for a risky strategy. With half of his warband, he decided to assault the front of the Abbey. He approached the front gates with Squirrel-Eater, Band-Aid, She-Rat and Bruiser were sent against the tower gate. And then the other half of the warband were going to assault across the roof. Akka, Deadeye, Chucker from the refectory end across the roof with the plan to jump across the gap onto the Abbey roof and up to the tower, and then from the other end Red and Blades would do the same. A high risk strategy, but with easy access into the main Abbey building. What could go wrong? The Rat Pack's assault starts quickly. Brown charges towards the main gate. A fast shooting Raxo looses 2 crossbow bolts at Chucker. Takes minimal damage. He then charges across the roof. Chucker leaps across the gap from the refectory to the Abbey roof, but in the dark slippery night misses his footing, misses the roof and crashes to the ground, taking great hurt. Frisbee's crossbow bolt misses Blades, and Blades and Red scamper across the roof and leap onto the Abbey. With a furious charge, Bruiser smashes open the tower gates and they fall like matchwood across the yard. She-Rat charged into the Abbey. Of all the rats Brown could have sent across the roof, maybe Akka was not the best choice. With his heavy armour, he was not as nimble as the others, and he also failed to leap from the refectory roof to the Abbey roof, and he also crashed to the ground. Squirrel-Eater charged after his leader and smashed his way through the Abbey front gates. With the Abbey gates destroyed, Sir Hartley saw no other solution than to try and take down the leader of the rats. He charged Brown and combat ensued. With a great killing blow, he hurt the rat, but didn't defeat him. Squirrel Eater leapt to his leader's aid, laid into Sir Hartley and did him great damage. And then, disobeying Sir Hartley's orders, gung ho left the witness, charged down into the fight. With one blow from his mighty double-handed hammer, gung ho caved in the armour of Brown. Brown, the leader of the Rat Pack, lay smoked upon the floor. Deadeye, with his mastercrafted caliber, drew a bead on Sir Hartley. The bullet passed through Sir Hartley, clean through and out the other side, causing great harm. Sir Hartley was close to death. Through the open door of the abbey, Sir Bors took the witness inside to safety, and Nicodemus the mage cast a cure spell on Sir Hartley, reviving him and keeping him very much in the fight. Bruiser and She-Rat, unopposed, make their way across the abbot's garden to the abbot's door. Having survived the fall from the roof, Chucker and Acker go to the side door from the refectory and try to break their way into the abbey as well. But it's She-Rat who breaks her way through the abbot's door. And for her troubles, Bors shoots her with a crossbow bolt. Down in the courtyard, by the front abbey steps, Sniffy, the hound scout, draws a bead to Deadeye, still on the refectory roof. He shoots him with a crossbow bolt. Deadeye takes the wound, crashes from the roof, through the cloister roof, and ending up on the floor of the cloister itself. Buoyed with confidence, Gung Ho attacks Squirrel Eater. But Squirrel Eater is made of tough stuff, and the attacks of the rabbit bounce off. Squirrel Eater continues to press his assault on Sir Hartley, but Sir Hartley is able to endure his blows. It matters not how badly hurt he is, he ignores all pain and continues to fight. Deadeye picks himself up, brushes himself down, picks up his mastercrafted caliber, and draws a bead on Sir Hartley. It's a risky tactic, but Sir Hartley is already in combat. Deadeye is confident in his ability as a marksman, overconfident perhaps. He fires a shot, and just at that point, Sir Hartley slips on some of the wood from the fallen gate. Squirrel Eater steps in for a killing blow and takes a bullet right between the eyes. Deadeye has killed one of his own warriors. All this time, Sniffy the hound has been watching the rat marksman, and although he skulks on the other side of the vegetable beds, Sniffy loads another quarrel on his crossbow, takes his time and shoots. Deadeye takes a bolt through his eye, and he's a Deadeye. This time for sure. Maybe he should have stayed on the ground after falling off the roof. Meanwhile, on the roof, Raxo, who has run out of targets on his side of the tower, heads downstairs to deal with the commotion that's going on in the abbey below, leaving Frisbee hiding in ambush. Red, on the roof, scales up the tower, and as she puts her head above the parapet, Frisbee at point blank range looses a crossbow bolt right through her ear. Red tumbles back, down, onto the roof, past her old friend Blades, onto the cloister roof, lands crashing on the floor, narrowly missing Bruiser, who was trying to make his way through the door.
Blades is furious and determined to avenge his old friend. He scales the tower and attacks the lonely Frisbee. Down below in the abbey, Sir Bors charged She-Rat in the doorway to prevent her entering the holy place. She-Rat backed out of the combat, throwing knives at Sir Bors, to allow Bruiser to try and push his way into the abbey building. On the other side of the abbey, Chucker burst through the door. Smithy, the mole smith, charged down the steps, crushed in Chucker's chest with his great hammer. Unfortunately for the mole, what he didn't know was that Acker was just outside the door, and with one great blow of his axe laid the mole down low. Exhausted by his climb and only able to use one arm, Blade's attacks fall hopelessly against the armour of the young mouse, who is also weakened and is unable really to strike back. By now it's looking pretty desperate for the rat. They think they're going to run away, but the relic that Bruiser carries gives them faith, and they stay in the fight. Band-Aid, the rat mage, started to move towards the backside of the abbey. Sir Hartley charged in to attack. It was a vicious fight, and the mage put up quite a struggle. At one point, she stuck her sickle all the way through Sir Hartley's ear. With a vicious roar, Sir Hartley pulled the sickle out of his ear. Out of her hand, Band-Aid chopped her down mercilessly. The fight in the doorway between Bruiser and Bors intensifies, and although Bors finds Bruiser's hideous appearance quite fearsome, he stays in the fight due to his excellent ability to block and his heavy armour. Ruth, Frisbee and Blades scratch and claw at each other's eyes, leaving nasty little gouges but doing no real damage. It's a fight of epic proportions and catastrophic dice rolls. With her leader dead and many of her warband fallen, She-Rat, second in command, decides that she should return to Baron Bufo and give him an up-to-date sitrep of the fight at the Abbey. Acker, the rat, stepped over the body of the fallen mole smith into a whole world of hate. Nicodemus the mage unleashed a terrible bolt of lightning. Smithy, standing still with his crossbow, and Raxo, with a further 2 shots, filled Acker with crossbows and lightning bolts, and he fell dead. I'm on the other side of the building. Gung Ho now joined Bors, fighting against Bruiser, the final remaining giant brown rat, without Bruiser knowing anything of what was happening behind him. Sir Hartley joined the fray, finished the rat with one blow from his mastercrafted sword, sliding it through his armour, straight through his ribs and out the front of his body. Bruiser, the brown rat, fell crumpled in a huge heap of blood-soaked fur. Sir Hartley gathered his warband under the great rose window in the abbey. They had been successful. The witness was safe. Had only one casualty, Smithy, who would be left in the abbey in the care of the monks. And then they realised there was one member missing. Frisbee must still be on the roof. Sir Hartley turned to Gung Ho. Go and get him. Do it now. Gung Ho headed up the stairs. Fight on the roof continued. Scratching and gouging, but no real effect. Frisbee and Blades were exhausted. Gung Ho, underneath the trapdoor, didn't realise that somebody was stood there. He barged his shoulder against it. He barged again. The trapdoor flipped open. Blades staggered backwards and fell off the edge of the roof, crashing to the ground, and lay dead in the yard. Gung Ho grinned at Frisbee. Sir Hartley wants you now. He says stop messing around and get downstairs. Sir Hartley knew that his warband was still in danger. The Rat Pack had been defeated, but Baron Bufo would send others after him. They made arrangements
to leave the injured Smithy. They took the witness and entered the catacombs under the abbey.
So there you go. That was our Defend the Hall game. It was great fun to play. We have laughed so much. There were so many instances that in the narrative they come over pretty well, but actually from the dice rolling point of view and the decision making in the game, it was really quite funny. In fact, in many ways, that was a really good representation for the two of us as to what tabletop wargaming is all about. Spending an evening with a friend, having a good laugh, an excuse to sit around, playing with grey figures on a really nice looking table, telling a terrific story. Clearly an outright win for Sir Hartley and his retinue. They managed to get the Starling down into the catacombs underneath the abbey, which means the next game we're going to play is going to be one in tunnels, which is going to be quite an interesting thing, and we're thinking about videoing that too. Now, that, as I said, was the first battle report that we've done for Magrathea Builder Worlds. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed watching that. If you did enjoy watching that and you think we should produce more of that kind of content, then do please let me know in the comments down below. That would be really cool. If you think we could improve or change or add extra stuff into the commentary or the way a battle report works, I'm really interested in knowing that as well, because I want to make these as interesting and watchable as possible. If you'd like to support us in doing what we're doing there, apart from liking and subscribing and doing all that stuff to help the great YouTube algorithm, you could also consider joining my Patreon, patreon.com/Magrathea Builder Worlds. And that way there you get to help support the production of videos for this channel, and you stand a chance of winning Magrathea Builder World scenery. Go over there and check it out. You don't need me doing a great big sales spiel now. So, having said all of that, I hope you've enjoyed our first B&B battle report. I'm going to have to do some Necromunda battle reports, aren't I? Yeah, I am, because I can't wait to get the Necromunda scenery out as well. So, thanks very much for watching. Keep watching Magrathea Builder Worlds. I'll see you next time.